On December 4th, 2018, in a Southborough Board of Selectmen meeting, tempers flared as the meeting opened for public comment. Southborough resident Louise Barron took the podium to address several issues with the board and its chairman, Kolenda. After a few verbal exchanges, Kolenda had threatened to remove Barron if she did not stop slandering the board and citing the board's public comment policy. Quote, "All remarks and dialogues in public meetings must be respectful and courteous, free of rude, personal, or slanderous remarks," end quote.
Louise Barron, 11 Sadie Hut Lane. I brought this cheap but meaningful to me little sign because this board, like this town, has been spending like drunken sailors. And according to Mr. Ballantyne, we're in trouble. We're not in the black, let's put it that way. So when do we stop? We need to stop spending. We need to put a moratorium on hiring. I think Mrs. Faniff suggested that. We need to not give any more increases in salaries. And if the town manager, and you feel we need a town manager, that should be postponed. We can't afford it. I don't know what are the benefits of a town manager as opposed to a town administrator. Could anybody clue me in?
We don't have a discussion back and forth on public comment. There'll be the pros and cons of anything will be part of any public meeting that
This is a public meeting, Mr. Kolenda.
Any part of, let me finish. That will be part of any public meeting that committee then holds. But we're not going to have a back and forth discussion during public comment.
I'm not asking for, I just want to know
Just ask the question. We don't have that during public comment.
We're putting a committee together, that was the earlier discussion, to look at the benefits for the community, for a future discussion at a town meeting. It has nothing to do with this upcoming town meeting.
Yeah, okay. And the next thing I want to say is, you said that you were just merely volunteers, and I appreciate that. But you've still broken the law with open meeting law. And that is not the best you can do. And when you say that, this is the best we could do, I know, it's not easy to be volunteers in town, but breaking the law is breaking the law.
So, ma'am, if you want to slander town officials who are doing their very best,
I'm not slandering.
Then we're going to go ahead and stop the public comment session now.
Look, you need to stop
and go
being a
into
Hitler.
Recess.
You're a Hitler.
All right,
I can
we are
say
moving
what I want.
into recess. Thank you.
Barron filed a lawsuit against the town of Southborough in 2020. Her suit claims she was unconstitutionally silenced by the board. Flash forward to March 7, 2023. In a 29-page decision, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court has ruled that the public comment policy, or civility restraint, used by the town of Southborough violates the free speech rights of the Massachusetts Constitution. The court wrote, quote, "Although civility can and should be encouraged in political discourse, it cannot be required," end quote.
What is your theory that this is a reasonable restriction on speech, where you have a resident of the town voicing concerns about decisions on budget and decisions related to open meeting law violations? What is your theory of the case that this doesn't go forward?
Reasonable restriction on speech has to do with whether or not it disrupts the purpose of the forum. The purpose of the forum is significant, and the courts have said so, to conduct an orderly and efficient meeting.
But this is clearly, she's commenting on exactly what was mentioned, which is there are numerous open meeting law violations, and she's saying, you're violating this statute. And then he's saying, that's slander. I don't understand how it's possibly slander, especially for a public official. I'm relying on the slander language in the policy, and he's misapplying it. Isn't this a clear? I mean, I can't dismiss this on the pleadings on applied challenge.
The decision is being celebrated as a victory for freedom of speech. However, the ruling can result in fewer opportunities for public comment, as public boards, which are not required by law to have public comment sessions, could choose to eliminate them altogether. Cape Media News has reached out to all 5 Mid-Cape towns' administrations in hopes to hear how each town plans to act moving forward. But at the time of this taping, we have not received any response.